What is going on, everybody? We're live here again, coming mobile again. I think that this is probably, some good way to mix it up, and I haven't been getting on YouTube that much lately because I've been very, very busy, which is a good thing, right? Having a busy shop is a good thing, I would hope. So, thought I would just kind of come out and tell you guys what I've got going on. It's a little bit awkward because I'm trying to do this from my iPad because my phone is charging, and I still wanted to come out and do a little live stream for you guys. So let's show you guys what I have going on. So you can see here we have a 1996 Dodge Ram. This is a half-ton truck, and there's something missing here, right? Yes, that is right. We took the bed off of this, and we've taken the fuel tank out. I had to drop the carrier bearing for the drive shaft to do that too. And this cross member is sitting on my little workbench over here. Yep, that's right. So, as you can see, this cross member, I'm trying to get used to this different camera that's on the iPad. So here, the whole mount is trash. This side isn't too bad, but yeah, kind of ground it down. Looking for more rust anywhere so that we can fix this, because they will not get an inspection on this truck with the cross member and the frame in this condition. We'll come over here, and I want to show you the rest of the frame. It actually doesn't look that bad from this side, but as you can see, this whole area, and it's probably hard to pick up on camera, but this whole area is just full of holes. See if I can come around the other side and show you a better shot of it. Yeah. Now you can really get an idea. Look at how bad it is all through here. This hole here, all this going all the way up. So that's all rust. It's almost a danger. it's almost dangerous. Probably actually is dangerous. So yeah, this thing needs a lot of work, and it's a hard job to even come up with a quote on, because the thing about it is, when you're dealing with something like this, is that your customer has to decide, is it worth it, right? Could I replace this truck and start with something a little bit fresher? Because this truck has over 300,000 miles on the original engine and transmission, so I'm told. Your customer has to decide, could I replace this truck with something maybe a little bit better, lower mileage, lower use, in better condition, for less than what it would cost me to fix it? Is it close? Is it worth the difference? There's a lot of things that have to go into that decision making process. And for this customer, and I didn't go around the front of the truck to show you this, but this truck actually has a snowplow on it, which is pretty uncommon in this area. I'm in Virginia. Now, back home where I'm from in Maine, a truck with a snowplow you see every single day. It's not that big of a deal, but here it's pretty uncommon. They're pretty expensive to come by, and if you get one used that already has a snowplow on it, chances are it's going to be just as rusty as this one. And in reality, this truck is not that rusty compared to a lot of the vehicles that I've seen back north where I'm from. So the main concern for him is just to keep it below a number to repair it that it makes sense. But yeah, would I personally pay to fix this truck? I would probably be pretty much on the fence. But he is a landscaper. He makes money with this truck, and ultimately, all the time and effort to get a different truck and find one with a plow, which would be very, very difficult here. You might be able to ship one from up north, but then it'll have the same problems. The only benefit is it'll have lower miles and lower use, hopefully. So he's decided just to go ahead and fix this one. So which I'm happy about. You know, I make money on that deal, but I'm not just here to find customers that I'm going to make money off of. Yes, that's how I operate, but I'm also, you know, more interested in helping my customer have the best experience and get the best deal possible, because, you know, really, the fact of the matter is, I make more money off of keeping customers than I do just, you know, getting one job off of them. It's like, I don't remember what the figure is, but it basically costs more money to acquire a new customer, you know, than it is to retain an existing customer. So, try and do the best I can by him. I've went through all of his options as far as, you know, replacing this truck goes. Kind of looked at some comparable trucks, you know, that are ready to run with a plow, and he decided, you know, based on the differences in price, he'd just rather fix this one and keep it. So that's what's been going on there. What else do I have going on? So I've been trying to get some help in here. Fortunately for me, and fortunately for the country, which I'm very happy that, you know, it is you know, a lot of jobs available and not a lot of people available to work those jobs, and I'm trying to get help in here, but because of the state of the economy, it's hard to hire people right now. Not that, you know, like, to find people to work is what I mean. So, you know, I did put the word out that I was looking for some help in here, and I even put an ad on Craigslist about it. And yeah, I had a few people ask about it. I had some people that said that they had a lot of experience, but then when you started to get into it and start asking questions, they were probably exaggerating on their experience from what I could tell, which I understand. You know, people, if you need a job, you're going to try and tell people whatever they need to hear. But for me, it's just a matter of trust. Like, I don't know what to pay somebody if they just aren't honest with me. And if I don't feel like they're being honest with me, I just don't want to waste my time. You know, for somebody to exaggerate their experience probably means that they might be in that direction, but maybe not as far as they think, as they're saying, and they just want to be competitive. But the fact of the matter is I'll hire somebody that doesn't have any experience and train them, you know, before I'll deal with somebody that's lying to me. But I don't want to get too deep into that, because better story is the guy that I did end up having work here over the weekend. He contacted me, telling me that you know, he had a lot of experience working assembling trailers and doing that kind of thing. So he was like along the lines, but he wasn't really like, you know, he didn't know anything about diagnosis and repair, which is pretty much the bread and butter of any automotive shop. And but you know, he said he was about 40 years old. Asked me to give him a chance, and so I said, all right, you know, we'll give you, I'll try you, you know, and I offered him a certain pay. I told him it was on flat rate. I expressed that very directly, that the pay is flat rate, meaning that, in a nutshell, you're not paid from the time you show up to the time you leave. What it means is you get paid for the work that you do. So, like, for instance, on this truck, to remove and replace the bed, which is part of this job, pays about 4.5 hours, right? So he pulled the bed off of this truck, and it, you know, it doesn't matter if it takes him 4 minutes or 4 days, he's gonna get paid for 4.5 hours. That's the nature of it. So it makes it so that you have unlimited income potential as a technician, theoretically, right? Like, as long as you're beating the time, right? But what it also creates is a situation where you might not make anywhere near the money that you would make, you know, working at McDonald's if you suck. Like, that's how it works. But most times you can beat the times. I mean, that's how I've built my whole career. You know, is, you know, in this shop is just by beating times and doing that kind of thing. So that's how that works, right? But yeah, he came in. First, I started off by having him send me a resume, and then offering to meet with him in person for, like, kind of a little bit of an informal interview, but formal enough that we had scheduled a time. and he showed up 15 minutes late for that, which, you know, kind of like let that slide, you know. And then the first day he was supposed to come and work with me was on Saturday, and on Saturday, mind you, the first day he was supposed to be there at 9, didn't show up until 10:30, so he was an hour and a half late on his very first day working with me at all, which was really annoying. And then, you know, he needed to leave at 3 because of some ride situation. The dude don't even have a way to get back and forth apparently, which is my mistake. I shouldn't have even let him work for me without transportation. But yeah, so he had to leave on Saturday. Not only did he show up an hour and a half late, but he had to leave at 3, so had to leave 2 hours early. Then on Sunday, he showed up like 15 or 20 minutes late again, and then left at noontime, which I did tell him was okay ahead of time. But yeah, you would think somebody that's been out of work and begged me for a job wouldn't want to leave at noontime, but you know, I'm trying to be cool, and you know, it was kind of hard to find somebody, so I was trying to be cool to him. But you know, all this stuff's weighing on my brain, and then you know, he worked over the weekend, so I did ask him. I said, you know, did you want to just keep working all week, or did you need some days off or whatever? And I did ask him, and he said that he wanted Monday off. And I said, okay, that's fine, I guess. And then he said, and on Tuesday, he needed to come in late because he had to take his kids to some appointment or something. And I said, well, why don't you just take Tuesday off? If you're going to be coming in halfway through the day, you'd be better off just to take Tuesday off, and you know, it wouldn't be a big deal. And he said, no, I really want to take Monday off, and I'll just come in late on Tuesday. And I said, all right. Tuesday comes, I don't hear anything from him all day. I try calling and texting him. He's basically a no call, no show all day Tuesday. And I'm like, all right. And then Wednesday, I'm at the end of the day, I get a call from some lady, and she's telling me that she's some relation to this guy. I don't know. I can't remember how they were related. She said that he had gotten locked up, and was talking about how he needed bail. He needed to get out and all this. And I mean, you know, he had somehow gave her my number and told her to get a hold of me. I said, I'm going to stop you right now. I'm not bailing this guy out. He couldn't even show up on time for an interview. Didn't show up on time one single day that he's worked for me. Left early every single day that he did work for me. There's no way, like, and now, you know, she was telling me that he got locked up for a disagreement with his girlfriend, which, you know what I mean, like, basically means he got accused of beating up his girlfriend. So I'm like, yeah, I don't want a guy like that working for me. I said, you know, I'm not going to bail him out, and, you know, you can just go ahead and tell him not to even bother thinking he's going to work for me anymore. And then she was, oh, okay, well, you know, can we come pick up whatever money he's earned so far? And I said, yes, if you get something written with his signature, it's releasing it to you, that's fine. Which you can do from jail. You can, you know, you can mail it to her or whatever. I mean, I don't know. But I can't, you know, I'm not going to just give some random person that says that they know him his pay. You know, that's just asking for trouble. So they go, okay, and then, you know, nothing. So that was on Wednesday. Thursday goes by, I don't hear anything. Today, Friday, the dude texts me. I guess he's out of jail now. Trying to ask about picking up his pay. And I said, yeah, that's fine. You know, whatever. And then he takes the liberty of saying that I worked this many hours on this day and I worked this many hours on that day, you know, and I said, yeah, but it doesn't really matter how long you were here. It has to do with what you've got done. Like, just like we discussed before you even started working. It depends on what you get done. It doesn't matter when you showed up or when you left. I literally can't even pay this guy from the time he's here until he leaves by law, because he's not my employee. He's working as a contractor for me, so legally I can't even pay him that way. It's not even a matter of like, should I pay him that or shouldn't I pay him that. I have to pay him by the job, because that is the nature of hiring somebody as a contractor instead of hiring them as a direct employee. And you know, I explained to him, I said, you know you were on flat rate. And then he was trying to change the story and everything. And it's just not worth the argument with him. I'm not going to pay him, if he thinks that he's going to get paid $80 for billing, what is it? I mean, he only billed something like, on actual customer vehicles, he billed 0.8 on one car for doing front shocks, and then he billed 2.25 on this Dodge truck because I had him take the bolts out for the bed and everything. But he really shouldn't have even gotten 2.25, honestly, because he didn't do the job like correctly or by himself. I did like the majority of the work on that job, but he did some of it, and I'm just gonna, whatever. And then I went ahead and gave him shop time for cleaning and stuff. So he billed about like an hour or half an hour. I have to look at the paper again. And then on top of that, he asked me to give him a couple bucks early because he was broke, which I did. So in reality, the whole time he was here, I think it was less than $50 that he had earned in those 2 half days working, which, I mean, because he's slow and he doesn't work hard, he just kind of shows up late, kind of lollygags around, isn't thinking about what it's going to take him. And so I told him, like, hey, you didn't bill those many hours, like you were here those many hours, maybe, I'm not even sure like the amount of hours he's claiming is even accurate, but let's just, for argument's sake, assume that they are. It doesn't matter because he didn't bill that many hours. And in order for me to pay you that many hours, you have to bill that many hours, and that's how I have to do it. And he tried to change the story and tell me that I said something different, and I just didn't argue with him. Like, you know what? He's gonna show up. I think I owe him like $25. I'm gonna hand him his $25, and if you don't like it, well, kick rocks, buddy. Like, what do you want me to say? Like, that's what you're owed. That's it. So I'm interested to see when he shows up because. I'm pretty sure the guy's a drug addict, unfortunately. And my experience told me I shouldn't even give him a chance, but I felt bad for him. He's like 40 some odd years old, has kids, has, a family, trying to take care of his family, at least so I thought. And, then he came here and just proved that, he's a piece of shit, There's a reason why a man that's 40 years old with a family can't hold a job. That's just it, I'm 27, and you're gonna come to a 27-year-old and try and like ask for work, and you're 40 something. You made a mistake somewhere bad. I'm not saying that like everybody needs to own their own business or anything like that. I mean, this is a struggle. Don't get me wrong. I can understand like why being an employee might not be the worst thing in the world, from my point of view. But fact of the matter is when you're a guy like him, obviously he's a fucking scumbag. So live and you learn. Since then, been trying to find somebody else to work in here. I had somebody working in here yesterday. Good kid, younger guy, like 22 years old, something like that. He's a good kid. He's trying hard. Kind of doing him part-time, and he also works part-time with one of my friends that owns a business in the same building. So, he works a couple days for them, he works a couple days for me, kind of go back and forth, and that'll make it so that I can kind of increase how I'm scheduling and build everything up. And I have a little bit of a backlog going on right now, so I need the help, and so that's what I'm doing. So yeah, that's what's been happening. So as you can see, I've had like 1 or 2 people watching it for most of this thing at least, which is pretty good for middle of the day and during the week. But hope you guys have a great weekend. Have a great Friday night if you're watching this after. And if you've gotten this far, please share your thoughts in the comments and subscribe. And I'll catch everybody in the next one.